When I was younger, I liked to stare at the sky long enough to make my neck muscles ache, imagining myself floating freely, unobstructed by anything, with no boundaries. These days, I think I'm getting there, a little closer to the paradise, the world of freedom. This is thanks to the practice of Dharma, of using the mind, which I'm going to talk about today. The founding master asks, if someone were to ask you what you are learning here, how would you answer? Members answer, 3 great powers, the essential way of human life, and so on. And founding master says again, as a rule, whatever answer one gives should be appropriate to the questioner's character and attitude at the time. But to answer in general terms, I would say that I am teaching about the Dharma of the mind's functioning. What we learn in our practice is how the mind works. We call it mind study, mind practice, or Dharma of mind. But what is the mind? We often think of the mind as brain activity, what we see, hear, smell, taste, feel, and process through our brains. However, the mind is not merely the cognitive processes and functional roles isolated to the brain. In Buddhist teaching, the mind, which we call it 심, 마음, in Korean, usually refers to the combination of the mind, spirit, and true nature. This 심, 마음, is the impetus for all bodily actions and experiences. A body without 심 is like a car without a driver, idle and inoperative. This idea was echoed by the second head Dharma master, Venerable Jeongsan, who said, even this physical body, which has form, is presided over by the formless mind. We also see the importance of Dharma of the mind in our practice. Gautama Buddha's 49 years of teaching can be summarized in the phrase, all is the mind's creation. The summation of Sotaesan's teaching is also similar. The Dharma of using the mind, in Korean, 용심법, use your mind well. After Sotaesan summarized his teaching as the Dharma of the mind to his congregation, he continued, to answer more specifically, I teach the knowledgeable how to use knowledge, the powerful how to use power, the wealthy how to use wealth, the resentful how to live a life of gratitude, those who lack merit how to make merit, those who live a life dependent on other power to rely on self-power, the reluctant to learn how to learn, thus those reluctant to teach how to teach, those lacking public spirit how to be motivated to have public spirit. In brief, I teach others to make the most of all their talents, material wealth, and surroundings in accordance with the right way. This means, when we know how to use our minds, we can utilize our minds to make the most out of our circumstances and abilities. Although each person has different purposes in using their minds, mind functioning is the most fundamental study anyone can apply anywhere they want to. The essence of mind practice is that one must know how to use their mind. The seeds of both sins and blessings are in our minds. So in that way, we are the creator of our life or the master of ourselves. What are you going to do with that seed? Which seeds do you want to water? The reason why mind study should take first priority is that it is the basic foundation of one's life. Without it, I'm just an empty tin man without my heart. Tossed around with center, ungrounded. I used to feel this way before maturing in my understanding the Dharma of my mind. Here is my story. My teenage days were rather boring and quiet, not stormy. I always compared myself to others, and I was into the virtual world, like into video games and reading books, daydreams, trying to escape from my immediate reality without any dreams for the future. I felt like a leaf stuck in the corner of a ditch. And this wasn't the way I wanted to float. I wasn't free at all because I ignored my mind and did not care about my mind or love myself. This was because my mind was ungrounded. Something called my heart in those years that continued long after I left adolescence, until I discovered a way to find myself with this mind study. When I was in Korea, I see the same mentality for teens today who feel bitter with few hopes or dreams. They become preoccupied with their virtual lives, and some of them even trap themselves into stagnancy by postponing their decisions to move on with their lives. So out there, they still have the potential to dream or do anything in the world. My hope is that many young people may break this cycle by discovering how to better use their minds and be masters of themselves. And like a butterfly, I want them, as well as us, to fly to the sky, embracing the universe. The goals of our practice are not limited to the boundaries of oneself. I don't study my mind to be better than others. In the end, my understanding and resulting transformation not only help me but affect those around me. In the Buddhist tradition, after dedication to prayer, meditation, and practice, we do not limit the merits of the practice to ourselves, but devote it to all beings in the universe. In chapter 13 of the Principal Book of One Buddhism, there is a passage Sotaesan preached to a public a month after his enlightenment. The first Dharma words we can summarize as: first, cultivate oneself. Next, regulate the family. Then, in society, the strong and the weak evolve mutually. And lastly, prepare to be a true leader of the world. From the passage, we can see that self-cultivation is the paramount method to bettering our world. When we cultivate ourselves through mind practice well enough, then everything else will follow. If we improve ourselves by cultivating our minds here and now, we can take control of the steering wheel to better help ourselves and others. Eventually, we will bring changes or peace to government and religion, the two wheels of our world. I want to thank everyone in our Sangha who cares for our community very much. Sometimes I'm asked, "How are you doing?" Often asked, and I usually say, "So far, so good." Well, it is not always good, actually, but mostly I like here. Because as we, on this path of mind practice, support each other's journey of progress, I feel so grateful for all the precious moments we share. From just a frustrated adolescent, like a brainless scarecrow or a heartless tin man, I'm now understanding myself better And in this community, I'm confident that I am becoming a fuller, more well-rounded person. One day, Sotaesan, the founding master, saw a disciple cleaning the headquarters and asked, "What are you doing?" The disciple replied, "I'm sweeping the grounds." Sotaesan responded, "From now on, you can say you are making the world a little cleaner." So whatever you do, it could mean a large difference depending on how you utilize your mind. So wherever you are, when you use your mind well, you are doing heavenly work. Changing the world that easy. Thank you.